It is the morning hustle with L'Oreal, myself, Kyle Santillian. We got a very special guest in the studio today.
Yes.
Yo, she's coming with the bars. She's coming with the music. Lady London is in the studio.
Hey.
How you feeling?
I'm so good. How y'all feeling?
Good, good. It's a
Good.
pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here for real.
Yeah.
And I'm so loud, sometimes when people are low, I can't really hear them. But that is something about your voice that's just so soothing.
Oh, thank you
and
so
it
much.
just sounds so good on the track.
Thank you.
You're
I
probably the
appreciate
person
it.
like when other people have kids and they want them to go to sleep. Give them to Lady London. She can talk to them to sleep.
And a little NyQuil for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So how you feeling, man? You're out here making some moves. The music is going.
Yeah, I'm so blessed to be here. Like amongst my peers, I'm just so happy because my idols are now people I like text and take shots with, and it's like it's just a beautiful experience. I don't think it's ever gonna be like not surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
And not only are you hanging around these people,
Yeah.
but you are signed to one of the most iconic
Yeah.
labels out there when it comes
Yeah.
to hip hop, and that's Def Jam.
Yeah.
Okay, they ain't pay me for that plug.
Yeah.
They did not pay me for that
But
plug.
at least
That's-
they gave you a jacket.
you don't get one because
Yeah.
these are for special people.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got one.
Yeah, I got it.
See, I'm the only one here without the jacket.
You
All
good
right.
with your hat?
We're going to talk to somebody about it. Nah, but Def Jam is, like you were saying, is a classic label.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they've done so much over the years. I mean, it has to mean
Yeah.
something to you to be a part of it.
So much. You know, obviously, one of my biggest or favorite rappers is Jay-Z. So watching the whole I let this little bell. Just being a part of the same, trajectory that the Rockefeller, the Murder Incs, and the Leors and the Kevin Lows and I'm super excited to be part of hip hop 50th,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
imagine
absolutely.
this is all starting from social media, right?
Right.
Just a day where you was just chilling, you was a
Yup.
little bored, you was
Yup.
trying to pass the time, and you
Literally.
decided to spit a freestyle,
Uh-huh.
and that just kicked everything off. How long were you writing before you sat down and was like, because I know you had things going on when you were younger,
Uh-huh.
where you like, all right, let me get into this poetry.
Right.
But how long did you know that you could rap before you actually did that?
When I dropped that, I was not rapping. I was doing poetry in my head. So it wasn't until after that I taught myself how to rap, like 3 months of just sitting down and studying cadences and patterns and, like syllables and how much can fit in this pocket. Because poetry is like, it's free. You
Right.
could just kind of, you don't even got to rhyme for real. Like, so learning how to transition from poetry to rap took me a summer after that. And then, so that was in March of 2018. That summer I took to learn. And I think by like November, December, it has started to really take off.
But your demeanor, your demeanor seems very like calm and cool.
Yeah.
But the poetry you started doing because you were violent.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Why?
Yeah.
So I was like, what?
Yeah.
What goon is coming in
Yeah.
here today?
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's you.
Yeah.
So how did you transition, or is this like your soft side and then you got that other side?
I think some things are just in you. I won't say that it's like not a part of me anymore. It just is like super suppressed now because I have so many things to lose, in the interim. And I'm not claiming to be no like crazy street shooter or nothing like that, but I was in trouble a lot. I was a rebellious kid, and I was just really, really smart, and I decided to channel more so, my schooling and my education and making my priority rather than run around because I could run around. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of your schooling being a priority,
Yeah.
finding out that you graduated from Howard University.
Yeah, the real
HBCU
HU.
family, you know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying?
I
And then
love
you
that.
went and got a master's
Yep.
at USC.
Right.
Crazy.
I like that part of the story because, we talk about, music and all these other things, but, we have some very intelligent people in our culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What was your line of education for those 2 degrees?
So my undergrad is in sports medicine and chemistry, double major from Howard. And then my graduate school degree is in global medicine with a concentration on international health policy. So I guess my whole life I've been told I was going to be a doctor. My mother was telling me since I was like 8 years old, like, you're going to be a doctor. And I'm not sure if it was something that I ever really wanted to do or if it was something that was told to me. And I was I tried to be, a pleasing person to my parents, to my mother, to my grandmother. Because I got in so much trouble on the side. Like, it was like, academically good, this girl's bad as hell, though. We had to kick her out of school. Like, so yeah, that was like my goal. I really wanted to work. My ultimate goal was to be an NFL physician for the NFL team, like a orthopedic surgeon. And I don't know, I just deviated afterwards. I started to try to think whether it was always my plan or whether it was somebody else's and what really fed me. And writing felt natural to me. It just felt like whatever. And I talk crazy. I talk ridiculous. And it works for rhymes. It just works. That's my natural demeanor though. Like that's my natural yeah, you know.
And you know what's dope about it is you just started out with freestyles, freestyles,
Yeah.
to the point where they were so good that your fans actually was like, all right, we need a project.
Yeah.
And they took your freestyles and put them together for you and made you a mixtape.
Yeah.
That I've
That's
never
crazy.
heard anybody
That is
say.
crazy.
Of all the stories, all the artists I ever spoke to, I've never heard anybody want music that bad that they created a project for them.
Yeah.
So how did that feel when you first even realized that, you know, this was happening?
Yeah.
And then what was your next step in your mind?
Yeah, having a compilation of all the freestyles come together and having the people who, you know, did the original from it be like, yo, like you killed it. Or to even recreate some of the most classic records and kind of make them my own. Like, you know, like, no, it was a big thing. It was a serious situation to a point where with some people that was like, wait, that's not your song? Like, that's not, like, that's crazy. So it was just really dope. But I really, in this time, really wanted to curate a project that was authentic to, like, what my sound would be. You know, like, not a freestyle over a record that's already been out. Like, something that's, like, what is my, you know, what's my niche? So I've been spending this time, you know, curating this new project that I have. And so I'm excited for everybody to hear it.
What would you consider your niche to be, or your sound, or your lane, so to speak? When you have your own vision for that, what is it?
Yeah, it's totally just I'm by myself in my lane. I'm completely by myself. And it's going to take a lot to sustain it because it's hard to go against the grain. When you're an innovator, when you're like a pioneer of something, I know no icon that is like anyone else. And so for me, my lane is my target audience are boss women who vacation on the Amalfi Coast, and men who aren't discouraged or threatened by that. I think my demographic speaks to the mature audience, to people who have seen a lot, been through a lot, experienced a lot, and I don't know, just believe in elevation and evolving and are sure and confident in themselves. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see it.
That's dope.
Go on.
What I respect a lot about you, too, is because I started out as an artist and then I was a rapper. You know, I always say I retired. But one thing that I always was taught, I had good producers, so I was taught concepts. And I see that from you, the storytelling.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is missing when it comes to female rap. We don't have the Love is Blind records anymore.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a few female artists, and they say, well, that doesn't make the money. And they're just okay with that, and they move forward. So are you willing to risk the fact that you might be losing a few dollars by putting out story records and making your route a little harder? Are you sure that, because a surgeon, you was about to make mad money doing it. Now you're also taking, like you said, the harder road where you're going to be telling these stories, you're going to be doing these concepts. Does that scare you a little bit? Because even as an artist, to make money nowadays is not that easy.
Yeah, it's not. I believe in learning to adapt to your environments, because I think some people are just too hard-nosed. Like, I'm not doing that. Now, I'm not really one of them people at all. Like, I have certain boundaries that I have in place. I have certain things that are against my morals or against my principles that I won't do. But I'm okay with assimilating to culture. So, like, don't get it twisted. I'm like I want to fill out a world that can be like a merge of the two, relatable, and be able to experience. I'm not far anyway. I'm not far left or far right. I want to find a good middle ground for it. So my goal is to find a place where I can do the storytelling and still appeal to the commercial space. So, yeah, I don't want to be the boring rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not really my goal either.
Why do we call that boring?
But it is. It's true. You know what I'm saying? It is kind of boring. I listen to some of my favorite MCs, if we talking about lyricists, but it's not something I'll be like, let's get ready to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to find the middle ground of halfway there, halfway here.
Well, here's my thoughts on that. I don't like it being labeled as boring either. I just think that we live a life that is multidimensional.
Yeah,
Right. So
right.
we're not always in the club. We're not always partying.
Facts.
If you're at the club from 10 to 2 a.m., you still got 20 other hours in the day.
Facts.
So maybe this music I'm making over here is for noon.
Yeah.
Or for 3 p.m.
Exactly.
Or when I wake up in the morning, this might be an inspirational song. So
Exactly.
it doesn't have to be boring, but it might just fit a different time period.
Right. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Who are your inspirations? Because I know some people, somebody has had to tell you this before. I know I'm not the first. When I hear you, it reminds me of Emil. And Emil, sound-wise, tone, was dope. But unfortunately, her situation and her personal situation affected her career. Again, I'm not saying like, I think y'all the same lyricist, but the tone.
For sure.
And the tone is sexy to me.
Yeah.
So does that bother you?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Emil is, man, she has probably one of the greatest voices in hip hop, in my opinion. Carried on a record. Carried. Ever since Cats found out I ran with the rock. As soon as that come on, it's like, ooh, a million, come on, let's get it. I'm honestly like, State Property and all the movies was like some of my favorites, and I used to watch, so I'm not offended by it at all. I think I wish her career had longer stance in it, because she was an incredible artist, and I think everybody that really came out of the Rockefeller camp in that time was like
special time.
Man, everybody though, from Bleak to
reach out though.
Beans.
Like, what if she's like, let's do a record together?
I mean, I don't even know if Amila is still rhyming though.
I think
you know what I'm
need
saying?
to take her out of retirement. That's like, you get what I'm saying? That would just be so fun, especially because you're nostalgic when it comes to being able to touch the Foxy records. And Foxy don't like when people touch her records.
Right.
And I didn't hear her complain.
Right.
I didn't hear her complain.
I love Fox.
And like also because you're classic records, that when you hear it, you're already singing the song, but you make people kind of forget about that, and they're still embracing you. How does that even feel that like legends and people that we've looked up to are now giving you your shine and your props?
I'm blessed because honestly, I always want to do it in the sense that I'm giving the artist their flowers, never to step over or to impede. It's always just more so like, I hope that I did justice to the record. Like, I hope that I did something that was like well deserved for it. Like, I hope you like it better yet. It's always with that intention in mind, not for anything else. So I'm happy that everybody is embracing me, especially in that space, because I really like study them, So
did you have any pushback from your family? Because you mentioned like maybe you felt like you were doing the school thing to appease them.
Yeah.
But then leaving that to do music, how was their reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm super Jamaican, so get a little tough sometimes as far as education is like a big priority for us. But the way my mom at first was pushing back, but the way she looked at it was like, you did everything I asked you to do, essentially. So I stepped off the stage twice and handed my mother the degree as soon as I got off. So she's like, you got, that amount of time, but if that don't work out, you need to get back in school. And I think she started to see it. My mom started being on Instagram and being like, I'm like, no, people like me. It's really where I'm not just one of these like starving artists, because I'm living in LA. She like, what you doing? You sleeping on the bench out there? What you got going on? So it's like, it was a whole situation. What you talk like them LA people got in your head or whatever? And I'm like, no, it's really a thing. So it's been a blessing thus far. She's so supportive now in what I do, and my whole family really is. So
that's fire.
Let's talk about the day that you found out that you were gonna be on the record with Ciara. Now Ciara, everybody loves Ciara, except for probably like Future. But like, but everybody else in the world loves her. Yes. And not just you and Lola Brooke. Yeah. Y'all got together. Y'all did the girl.
Yeah.
How was that working with Ciara? Or when did you get that phone call? How did you feel about that?
Ciara's so sweet. She's like a big sister to me. She's like a beacon of light, truly. Like, who you think she is exactly who she is. She's super like soft spoken and smiley and like really a girl's girl. Like, a lot of people jack that, but really a girl's girl. Like, truthfully. When I found out I was going to be on the record, Derek Milano called me, incredible songwriter, friend of mine, and he was like, I got this record for you, and it's Ciara's record. I was like, I don't care what it sounds like. Let's do it. I want to do it. I don't care what the subject matter is or nothing. He sent it to me, and I was like, okay. And I remember I played it that day, and I was like, I'm gonna table it and go back to it. So I didn't like think of a concept for it yet. And then he called me like the next day and was like, Lola got on it too. I was like, bet. I love Lola. Always. We've been from the beginning though. Yep. And so I was like, okay, cool. Let me listen to it again. But he didn't send me Lola's verse. He just, I still had the same one. So I listened to it. I was like, man, I want to do like affirmations on it. And I have 4 whiteboards in my house. And one has like my daily tasks. One has my finances. One has like the future goals. And the other ones have like these affirmations. And it's a big board of like whatever. So my affirmations are literally the ones from my board are in that song, like word for word. It just rhymes at the end. So when I wrote the track, I was like, okay, I went to record it with Derek, and I sat down and I was like, all right, I think I got an idea. I was like, play me Lola verse. He like, no. Ooh. So I'm like, wait, why? He like, cause I want you to do your verse and then I'm gonna show you hers. So I'm like, wait, cause what if we not on the same vibe? Like I don't like whatever. So I do my verse. We send it to Ciara, and as we waiting for her reply, he plays me Lola's, and I'm like, it's so off. Like I did the wrong shit, like completely. I'm like, Lola sound mad aggressive. Like what are we talking about? I'm being mad sore. We could go back. So he's like, nah, I think the dichotomy is cool. Ciara FaceTimes me later that night with Russell, and Russell's like, you quoted Romans 12:12. He's like, I'm the proof, the evidence of what's hoped for or whatever, the proof of what's never been seen. So I'm like, oh my God, how did you know that? He's like, I'm really in my word. He's like, we love this verse. We can't stop playing it. And Ciara's like, I want to shoot the video this week. So we like, this week? She's like, yeah, we're going to shoot the video this week. And we're going to do it all on the iPhone. I'm like, it's lit. So we went down to her house. We shot all day. It was so amazing. Her kids are amazing. Her house is amazing. She's amazing. And I'm so happy to be a part of it.
I did not know Russell Wilson was an A&R. He like, we listened to the verse all day. I would have never thought that when it comes to music, he would be that involved.
He's so involved in everything that she does, though. They're really like a beautiful partnership, like for real.
So she told you her prayer.
I'm still trying to get the drop on the prayer. I don't know it.
She being stingy now.
Oh, that means that you single if you still looking for a Ciara's prayer.
Sure, dog.
Dude, I know dudes be trying to holler at you.
Yeah, we both say we single. We both lying. What Lil Wayne say? What Lil Wayne say?
That's what Lil Wayne said. That's hilarious.
But when it comes to people shooting their shot, because I know, let me tell you something. Even when I said we was interviewing you, one of my peoples was like, yo, so you should ask him. I'm like, she don't want you. Get out of here. So when it comes to working with people or being around certain artists, I know they try to shoot their shot. Would you ever date somebody in the industry?
I prefer not to. Yeah, nah. I don't want to date no rappers. We is not having freestyle battles at 8 o'clock at night. That's not happening. No, I'm cool.
What's your type of dude?
Me. Spiritual. Just like really like faithful.
Can he drive a bus?
Drive a bus.
Oh God! Don't answer.
Oh boy, yeah, I know it's the railroad. It's the railroad. No.
Okay, so you are putting the freestyle portion of things a little bit more to the side and focusing on creating and making records.
Yeah.
Is that more difficult?
Absolutely, absolutely. But everything is a learning process. You never know too much. It's always something to be learned. So learning songwriting over the last like 2 years. Or 3 years at this point has been like an incredible experience to me. I've learned to tap into so many different elements of myself that I didn't know existed. I'm really loving the space that I'm in, and I know it's only gonna get better with
when you're writing and you're creating and you're putting your songs and stuff together.
Yeah.
I know it's another level from when you were just doing the poems.
Yeah.
But does it start from the same place, or do you start it from a completely different viewpoint?
Yeah, I think poetry for me was always expression about what I was currently experiencing at the moment. I don't think rap is like that. For me, it's like it could be inspired by anything. Like poetry always used to be like my relationships or like what I felt like the current state of America was in. Everything was about that. Like, but now it's like, man, I left south of France. Like in Cannes, I was in Cannes for Lion Festival in July or June or whatever, and I was like, I got on the plane and I was like, vacation to south of France and Cannes, out making some friends at a vacation advance. I had a Bordeaux with the best grapes on the planet and managed to get the owner to pivot to my cabana. And it's like a whole, like, I'm painting a picture of what I just experienced.
Right.
Whatever. So I think the process is just different now. Now it's about my experiences as multifaceted experiences. So
For sure.
Now we know we gotta let you go, but we
Okay.
can't let you go without talking about your new single.
Yes.
Yeah. With
Yeah.
Dreezy.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, she could rap her ass
What?
off as well.
Uh-huh.
Like, I love that about you. You don't back down from the girls that
For
also
what?
go hard. Right?
I more than embrace them because I think rap needs a voice. Like we gotta keep our voice in it. You know what I'm saying? So Dreezy, I've never heard a bad verse.
Never.
I've never heard a bad verse,
Never.
and I've heard albums she refuses to put out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm so happy that she was able to join me on this record.
Yeah.
And
Videos fire.
what?
Too. Videos crazy.
Video was so dope to curate. You know, obviously when we came up with it, yeah is a term coined by New Orleans or Baton Rouge, like just the Louisiana area. And so I wanted to pay homage to it while also having like a beauty element. What better way to merge Destiny Child and Lil Wayne's Soldier? I'm like, Lil Wayne represents New Orleans and the whole thing. So I'm like, I wanted to pay homage to the place that coined the term. Obviously, I never want to take from a culture and not give back to it. So that space and, you know, just also we shot on Aaliyah's death date. A lot of people don't know we shot on Aaliyah's death date. So the purple scene with me having long hair was like a dedication to her, where I have on like the iridescent or whatever. It's very like one of her videos, and you know that kind of embodies that essence of it. So we wanted to pay homage to, you know, a couple things.
And why Dreezy? What made you say this is who I want on my first single?
Yeah, so my project is very conceptual, and so we're leaning into it's a zodiac project. So she's an Aries, and it's the Aries record on the project. Yeah.
I'm an Aries moon sign.
They're your emotions. It's just fiery.
I am very.
Yeah. So and Dreezy, honestly, when I heard the record, I heard her voice on it immediately. It's crazy because I did a whole another 2 verses to this record and had a whole nother concept at first, and then I was like, wait, hold on. And I sent it to her. She was like, yeah, I'll pull up to the studio tonight and do it. I'm like, bet. So we got it done at Westside same day.
Crazy.
Same day.
So the song is out. What's the idea and what's the lane looking like for the album?
It's super conceptual. I don't think we've had a conceptual project since at least like a long time. Outside of Kendrick's that recently came out, I don't think we've had one in a very long time. And so I'm excited just for people to.
None of that set yet?
I don't want to say nothing prematurely. I just know it will come at the end of this year. By the end of this year.
She just got her deal, Kyle.
Yeah.
Her feet wet.
Hey man, we excited.
2023 for
Personally,
sure.
I love it when the ladies come with bars.
Yeah.
Like Lo will tell you, like my whole thing about hip hop is there's so many people that are popular or making waves, but I like the people that are spitting bars.
Yeah.
Like when you were talking about Lola Brooks and Jeezy, Dreezy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious, I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to hearing the bars that you're spitting on the album.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Giving
You
captions
should
all
call it
summer.
No More
or winter.
Freestyle.
All right, well, there it is.
it.
Thank you so much for coming out talk to us today. We appreciate you. We wish you the best of luck in everything that
And
you
this is your first syndicated radio interview, right?
Yeah.
We
So we
love
popped
that.
your cherry.
Ah!
Kyle can't say that. I can say that.
Thank you
Lady
so
London
much.
on the show with us. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for stopping by, man. It's
Thank
the Morning
you.
Hustle.
Thank you.
We are the Morning Hustle.